Flosstube. It's Cathy and Nancy, and we have our first video, and we are going to be the so-and-sos, and that's SEW apostrophe N SEWS, because it's so stitchy and she's so cozy stitching, so we're the so-and-sos.
Some of you might know me from my own channel, which I'm not doing Flosstube on that channel anymore because I am teaming up with Cathy.
Yep, it's a dual endeavor. So, well, we're going to start out with a little introduction of ourselves. A lot of you already know Nancy. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. I've been stitching since I was probably 5 years old. My mom taught me to sew. I picked up cross stitch in 1980. A friend of mine at work taught me how to do it, and I've been doing cross stitch ever since. I kind of got out of it a little bit just because the LNS, I was living in Boise, Idaho at the time, and the LNS closed. So all I had were Brenda Gervais online store that I ordered from. And so I did have a ton of Brenda Gervais things. And then she started adding other designers to her website. So I started picking up Blackbird designs and Plum Street and a bunch of people that she added on there. And then linen came out and all that kind of stuff. And so it kind of took off from there. I'm a multi-crafter too. I do a lot of wool applique. We like embroidery. I don't do a lot of quilting. I like to do mini quilts. Nancy likes to do big quilts. So I kind of stick to the little things, but we have a lot of different things to show you today. So it's not only going to be cross stitch. It's going to be several crafts, but all having to do with textiles and maybe some paper crafts thrown in, but we don't do a lot of that. But anyway, go ahead, Nancy.
And I'm Nancy, and my former channel was So Cozy Stitching, and I've been stitching since 1987, I believe. And I started out from magazines. That's all I had was magazines, the Cross Stitch and Country Craft magazines. And I've never taken a break from stitching. I've stitched for what, 30
some years.
30 some years.
35.
Yep. And I do quilts, lots of quilting, and I'm an Ada stitcher. I've stitched primarily on 14 count, but I've moved up to 18 count, and I'm going to try some 20 count. But anyway, and then I've started embroidering and wool appliquing. So like Cathy said, our channel is going to be multi-crafts. It's not going to be just stitching, but primarily stitching.
Yep. Well, we have our whips here. We're going to start with. Why don't you go first, Nancy?
Okay. So I have a lot of whips, and I'm trying to get my whip count down because my goal is to get under 10 whips. And so you're just going to see a lot of not finishing, but a lot of just progressing on a lot of these whips because they're all big. So the first one I want to show you is called Miss Baxter's House, and it's by Stacy Nash. I don't know the fabric I'm stitching on, but it is 18 count. And I mostly stitch in DMC. So if you want to know what colors they are, I can tell you, but I'm not going to show threads just because I just do DMC and they're all just in a baggie. So that's where I'm at on that one. Do you want to alternate?
Okay, sure. I have a whip going here. I was a monogamous stitcher until we decided to do this video. And so I've got like 4 things going now, and then I'm also stitching on a model for Teresa Kogut, and I can't show you that. But the first one I have here is a Little House Needleworks, trying to get the glare off, and it's called from the garden, Fresh from the Garden. But I'm doing the Little Tomato Needle book that's kind of down in this corner right here. So that's the pattern, and this is how far I've gotten on it. Boy, the light is blowing things out, I think.
Hold it back just a little bit. Does that help?
Yeah, that is better. So we have this little tomato with a bee, and it's just getting started there.
In your fabric?
The fabric is 40 count. It's just an extra leftover piece of, well, I have it right here. Hold on. That's ridiculous. It's, it's a mystery linen. It is a 40 count. It's probably straw, possibly from Weeks. It's kind of a loose weave. It would be an old Weeks. It was just big enough. It's going to be a needle book when it's finished. So this was a piece I had that was just big enough to put this little piece on. So that's the first one. Go ahead, Nance.
All right, and then my next one, this is one that I decided to make my Sunday stitch. And by just working on it on Sundays, I've made a huge amount of progress on it. And it's Liberty's Welcome by Plum Street. This one I am stitching on, it's called Vintage Sampler by Victorian Motto, and it's an 18 count fabric.
Do you want a board?
And I'm using the DMC conversion. I did change my house color because every color that I tried to use would not show up on this fabric. So I did change it to 927. So all of my blue in here I've changed to like 924, 926, 927. So it all matches. And that grass,
that's a lot of grass.
Is no joke.
That house is big too.
Yes, and the house is big.
Huge. That is so cute. The next one I'm working on is Needle and Thread with Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Goodness, I'm not doing very good at this.
I should have brought mine finished.
Oh, you have a finished one. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Zweigart cream with all the called for, except I changed the color of her dress. And it is Chesapeake Bay by Classic Color Works. I wanted a blue dress instead of all the greens and yellows that it called for. It called for caramel corn, and that's kind of a beigey. It has quite a bit of variegation in it, but I just wanted to try the blue and see how that would look. So hopefully that's going to go okay. So that's that one.
All right, my next one is Heartland Sampler by the Scarlet House. And I love this. Everything about it reminds me of my Uncle Bill and Aunt Eva. They were actually my dad's aunt and uncle, and they raised him, so they were like grandparents to me. This is where I'm at on it.
That is so cute.
I'm stitching this on 18 count Vanilla by Color and Cotton. And I'm using a DMC conversion. When I convert to DMC, I pull out, if it has the conversion, I pull them out, and then I usually change up some colors to match more of the picture rather than what's the called for. But I'm almost done. I just have
That is so cute.
the barn up here, and there's some corn stalks over here, and then I'll be done with this one.
Woohoo. Go ahead and show your other cross stitch. I don't have more.
All right, and then my last one that I'm working on is Happy Camper by Laurie Holt. And I'm making this for my little vintage camper that I have. And it's not vintage, it's new, but it looks like a vintage camper.
It's very cute.
And I am not doing this bottom part right here. So just from Happy Camper up. And I've changed the colors. So this is where I'm at. And this is stitched on 14 count oatmeal.
That's going to be really cute.
And yeah, and I've changed all the colors. So That's it. That's all the whips
Okay.
I have.
That's all the cross stitch whips we have.
We do have other whips. We have embroidery whips, so you go ahead with yours first.
The first embroidery whip I have, I just have this piece of paper I printed. It's Charlotte Lyons is the designer, and she has an Etsy shop, and this is called Homebodies. And I just printed the picture that was on Etsy because the piece comes pre-printed on the fabric, but there's no picture or anything else with it. All you get is the pre-printed fabric. So I printed that off to kind of get an idea of the colors, but this is my start on it. I think that overhead light is killing us here. You can see vaguely the pre-printed over here, and I've worked on the first little gal. So I'm just picking DMC colors and putting them on as I go, just whatever color I like. So it's called Homebodies because all these little gals have these little houses on their dresses, and they're very cute. I don't think you can see that very well, but there's a little kitty down here, and it's very cute when it's finished. It's just going to take me a little while to keep working on that one.
That's so cute. I was trying to find my wool project on here. All right. So mine that I'm working on, embroidery, this is a horrible picture. It is Stitchers on the Go, and it's a vintage camper. And this Calamity Jane's is a local designer to me. And it's supposed to be like a table runner, but I think I'm going to make it into a wall hanging. And so all of this I've traced on here, but I'm not going to be stitching this. But that's where I'm at. So I am learning how to color with colored pencils, and I'll show you a project with crayons that Crabapple Hill does, because I want to do a Crabapple Hill embroidery project or a quilt, and I want to learn their technique. So I'm just using some smaller projects to learn their technique.
But it's so cute. I love the bicycle.
There are a ton of Lazy Daisy stitches right there.
You'll be good when you're done with those.
How about that?
Go, you want to show them that one?
And then my other embroidery project that I've started, this is the one I started with the crayons. And of coloring it with the crayons. These are free on Punker? What is it? Pumpkin and
Pinker and Pumpkin.
Pinker and Pumpkin on Instagram. She has a blog.
Pinker and Pumpkin. And
these were her free patterns. She made a quilt using these, and she embroidered on them. But I colored them, and I'm going to embroidery on them. I'll just show you some of them. There's 12 here. I'll show you some of my favorite ones.
That bee one's cute.
This one is cute.
They're very soft. Very cute. We have too much light on this.
I think so too. We'll have to adjust our light. And anyway, so
they're very cute.
So that's going to be my next project. Once I still have to put, after you color, you have to put a medium on it and then let it dry, and then you can stitch on it. It's washable after that. So.
Well, I don't have any more embroidery whips. I do have a punch needle, and this is a Little House Needleworks. Vonna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, did a tutorial on punch needle with this, and I thought that was just such a cute pattern that I went and bought it. I already knew how to punch needle, but I've only gotten this much done, so I'll have to keep going on that.
So that's all filled in?
All the background, yeah, you can kind of see on the back there's a square around it, and here's the line for the square. So everything, all the background's filled in. So you do the little pieces first, and then the last thing you do is fill in the background, and it's going to be kind of it's a Valdani thread that's variegated tan and cream, and that will fill in the whole background. So I'll have to keep working on that.
It's cute. I love it.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's it for whips.
I have a wool
Oh,
project.
you have a wool project.
So I was trying to
finished
find
mine.
the picture of the whole quilt because it's a wool quilt. Oh, here it is.
There it is.
Let's turn this down.
It's beautiful.
So this is the quilt, and I got it as a block of the month a couple of years ago. And when I got it, I had all these plans I was going to keep up with it. Well, I haven't even done the first block.
Oh, you're working on it.
But here's the first block.
Turkey.
And I've started doing applique on it.
It's going to be gorgeous. Oh my word.
So,
how many blocks are there? 12?
I think there's 10, and then there's the borders.
Oh, the borders.
And then the pennies inside. And I'm using the Call for Valdani threads. I bought the thread pack for it.
It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous.
It's going to be pretty. So that's all my whips.
What about your quilt whip?
I do have a quilt whip.
She has a quilt whip.
I have several quilt whips. I only brought one. So I am working on the Laurie Holt My Happy Place quilt. And I started last year when she started her quilt along. And I did...
Love these tomatoes.
The pincushion tomatoes. I still have to add the buttons to the pins, but I won't do that till after when I go to assemble the quilt. Anyway, so I did her first week that she did on her quilt along, and then that was it. So I decided to pull it back out, and I'm following the quilt along, only I'm a year late. So so I'm trying to do a section a week. And then the next one was the crochet hooks.
Those are cute.
And the sewing scissors. And this will have a button that will go right there. And this is the knitting block.
A ball of yarn and needles.
I think this will have, it's upside down. It will have buttons that go up here.
Those are so cute.
And then last week, I did the big sewing machine. And thought that was all. Thought that was all for the week. Let's hold it back a little bit. There we go. And I was looking at this week's patterns, and there was still something I missed from last week. So now I'm a week behind.
Oh dear.
But anyway, so my goal is to have it done by the end of the year.
I'm sure you will. She's speedy.
So, all right.
Okay. We're gonna do some finishes. And I have a lot of cross stitch finishes. Last year I did 43 projects. I just kept stitching and I didn't finish any of them, which is not a good idea. So now I finished stitching them, but I didn't FFO them. So that's what I've been doing, and now I have this huge pile of finishes. So I think one of the first ones I finished was this. I'd never done a drum before. So this is my first drum. And this is Cats on Parade by Blackbird Designs. And it's on Weeks Dye Work.
Just a little bit closer.
Oh, sorry. Weeks Dye Work Carrot. And I believe it's 32 count. And there is a fence at the bottom. And I left the picket fence off. That was just way a lot of stitching, so I left that off, but that's what that one is. And I think it calls for onyx. Is Weeks Dye Works onyx is the only thread. It's just black and orange.
And show the top.
Oh, and the top has this on it, and the bottom has black velvet from Lady Dot Creates. And this is actually stitched. It's not lace. It's stitching on there. And then it just has, I just put a little line of some black cording on around the bottom. So that's that one. Do you have a finish?
Go ahead. This is your show now.
Oh boy. Okay, then I decided since I was in drum mode, I would do this one. This is a Plum Street called Nightshade Bird correct? Nightshade. Oh, phooey, I have it. Nightshade bird, I think. On the called for Picture This Plus, it's 40 count, legacy, and okay, there's the back. So there's the beginning of the alphabet, the ABC. It comes around, and these are little tomatoes down here. They're so cute. And then I made this little, it's actually a tomato that goes on top. And it's Lady Dot Creates velvet in the color Shallot, and it matches this color floss. And then this is black velvet from Lady Dot Creates, and black velvet on the bottom from Lady Dot Creates. So that was fun to do. And then the final drum I did is this little Happy Birthday America from With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. And it came as a kit with the printed linen and a little box. And this is the lid of the box with the candle stick on the bottom. And that's the cake stand. And it just sits on top. So that one was really easy to finish. Brenda's instructions for finishing, if you just follow the directions, you can't go wrong. That's how I learned to do all my finishing, was from her instructions. She has really good instructions. You want to try some?
Keep going.
This is the pumpkin that came out last year from Brenda Gervais. That was also the printed fabric, and there's this little tiny crow that's stitched on it. That's really the only stitching you do. And then it came with the pumpkin stem and the whole bit, the pins, and you cut open the bottom, and I just put some wool over the bottom to cover my little hole. So that's that one. Then I have, this was from, what is the name of them? What's her name? It's their club.
Scattered Seeds.
Scattered Seeds. Thank you. I was trying to say seed something. Scattered Seeds. I finished this one, Spring's Messenger, and it came as a kit. I gotta get my hands off of it, with the finishing fabric, and it has more fabric for this little heart and this little ring and this little bird charm. And that was in Scattered Seeds Club from last year. And it's all birds, and they're very cute. This was a kit from Lottie Daw. It's a little needle book, and it turned out really cute. It has a bird on the back. So I stitched with everything that came in the kit and then made it into this needle book. So it came with all the fabric and the wool for the needles and the whole bit. All I did was add the cord to tie it in a button.
Does it have like cardboard?
It has cardboard in it. Yeah, there's a piece of cardboard in each side, and you just put a piece of batting in it and then stitch the linen to the inside fabric around the cardboard. And this is all one piece, so it's not cut in the middle. You just stitch it like this, and then fold it in half and make it into a needle book.
Really
so
cute.
That one turned out cute. Oh my word, still have more stuff. More Brenda Gervais. These were the Easter patterns that she came out with. There's one in pink and the pre-printed sampler fabric. This one has little bunnies on it, and it's really cute. And then there's one in blue. I did both of them. It's really sweet too. It has moth and birds, and then the other pre-printed fabric. And I just, these are stuffed with sawdust. The first time I used sawdust, which it makes a huge mess, but you can flatten it down and shape it real well. So I like the way it feels, but it sure makes a mess. Have you ever done sawdust?
I have.
Yeah, it's messy. and it doesn't want to go in the hole. I tried using a funnel and everything. It wouldn't go through my funnel. I just was picking up handfuls of it and just smashing it in there, and it was all over the house by the time I was done. And the last one, I think, is also a Brenda Gervais. And this was it's a little tiny snowman. This flare is bad. Little snowman, and you put beads in here to make the snow. And it's in a half of a plastic ornament. And then I just put some paper on the back and some rickrack around the edge and some baker's twine in there to hold it. So that, I think, turns out really cute.
That's cute.
So that's all the cross stitch. Oh, except for this. This is a pattern for this absolutely adorable scissor fob from Robin Bird Samplers. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
And you make this tiny little tomato, and then I have some little charms on it, and you put your initials and the year on one side, and then it's got this cute little spool with the tomato on it on the other side, and that little deal. She has excellent finishing instructions. There are 9 pages of instructions to make this tiny little fob, but they're very clear, and it's not hard to make. It just takes some time. So I really like how that came out. Okay.
All right, so do you have yours?
I have, yeah, I do, right here. These are some.
So Cathy made hers first, and I prepped mine, and finally she told me before we did the video I had to have a wool whip. So I thought, okay, I'll put a few stitches in this and have it as a whip.
Stop.
I didn't stop.
It's a wool finish.
So I had a complete finish.
And I still haven't put the stem on my tomato.
Oh.
It was funny.
Oh,
she asked me to send her a picture of what mine looked like finished. And then she goes, "Did you mean to leave the stem off your tomato?" And I'm like, no, but I did. So I should check these better before I put them together, because it's not there. I'll have to put it on top somehow. So these turned out really cute.
They did.
These are
cute.
buttermilk basin.
Yes, buttermilk basin. And it comes with everything to finish it except for the buttons and the ribbon.
Yep.
It even comes with the back.
Yep.
So
those are fun.
And then our other finish we have.
I have 2 more cross stitch finishes over here. I forgot.
Oh.
Go ahead.
So our other finish we have is the same thing again.
Yeah, we started this together.
Yeah.
And this is by All Through the Night, Cathy Schmidt's sister, Bonnie Sullivan. And it's a sewing needle book. It has pockets. There's a little flap with a pocket, and a pocket over here, and a pocket over here.
Here's the pattern. I just tucked my pattern inside. But these are pre-printed panels. Mm-hmm. And then you just add, like, you add the wool to the spool, you add the wool for the strawberry.
And you do all the embroidery.
And yeah, you do all the embroidery. And we added rickrack.
On here.
It's pre-printed rickrack, but we added.
So that's what the outside looks like. They turn out really cute. They're easy to finish. Very good instructions.
This is what the inside of mine looks like.
Yeah, she has a different fabric.
So, yeah. Oh, and then it came with...
We thought it was a bookmark at first.
Yeah, we thought it was a bookmark.
You make this little needle book.
Needle book.
It's very cute.
So,
it's like a matchbook. You just fold your little thingy up in there, and it is very cute.
Super, super cute.
It fits right in the pocket.
Super easy to make. So we did those ones together.
Bonnie Sullivan, All Through the Night.
And then our one other finish that we have that we are doing together is through Under the Garden Moon, and it's It's a club that we belong to, and so she sends you a pre-printed panel every month with the threads, and then you can go on to. She has a code for members that you can go on, and she teaches you how to
Do the tutorials.
do the stitches. So anyway, and they make
makes a book.
Yeah, in the end, they'll make a book.
Karen, the yellow farmhouse, little yellow farmhouse on Instagram. She is the one that got us started on this because we saw hers and we wanted to be just like her. So we had to order ours. We've got page 1 and 4 done.
So, and we're behind. So we just got month 3. And we only got
we only have one done. But we're working on it.
But anyway, it's fun. It teaches you how these little stitches, the seed stitch, a colonial knot. I had never done a colonial knot.
I hadn't either. I like it better than French knot now.
Yeah, so much easier than
and it turns out looking nicer, more consistent, because my French knots can be all over the place. Yeah, it's fun learning all the different stitches.
And the thread that comes with it is Suspargo.
Most of it, yeah, it's all different kinds of thread.
And the
wool
blue,
even.
Yeah, the blue in here is silk. I never stitched with silk thread. And then the green is wool. Not a fan of wool thread.
No, I didn't really like it either.
All right.
This is another finish from a buttermilk basin pattern that I got done. And it hangs on, she has little metal racks for these little stands, and it hangs on a little stand. And they're kind of a monthly, you could do a monthly club, but I just chose this one because I like the stitchery stuff.
I like this, I like the sewing thing stuff.
The sewing stuff. And this was the one from Debbie Busby. It's another little needle book. These are big snaps, and it snaps like this. And that's the front of it. This is the back. I just made this up for the back because I kind of changed the instructions. I did it differently, put it together differently than she did. But it turned out really cute too. There's a pocket here and more. If you don't like using a sewing machine, the entire thing can be done by hand. I did use the sewing machine on mine, and I turned it, and that's why I had to make a slit on the back and cover my slit with this little pocket. So Debbie Busby is excuse me, Wooden Spool Designs, and this is one of her patterns.
Oh, and is she from Idaho?
She's from Star, Idaho, up by Boise. Okay, the last thing I have is, this is a Cathy Schmidt's pattern, and it makes into a little strawberry. It's just this little cute little bird, and it's really fun and easy to stitch, and she has good instructions for turning it into a strawberry, and it's real easy to do, and I think that's really cute too. It's stuffed with walnut shells, so it's nice and firm and heavy. That makes the point good and pointy.
Walnut shells? I haven't used walnut shells either.
Yeah, they're kind of fun because they make it heavy, and there's weight to it, and I like that. Okay, I do have 2 more cross stitch finishes that I forgot to show you, and they're kind of big ones. This one is by Brenda Gervais, Feather Your Nest, and I did this one on natural 25 count Lugana, and I did it over 1, or it would be much bigger. But that is a lot of solid stitching, whether you do it over 1 or do it on 10 count. There is a lot of stitching in it, but I really like the way it turned out. And that is Feather Your Nest. And then the big one, besides the models that I've stitched for Teresa Kogut, this is the biggest finish I've ever done, and of course it's by Barbara Anna, All Creatures Great and Small. It's the stitched on 20 count vintage, light vintage mocha. They call it linen Ada, but it's a 20 count. And I did not do the border as called for. I used all the called for anchor threads. First time I'd use anchor, have used Anchor, and I'm not a fan. I'm not going to buy any more Anchor. But I just put the vine on that's in the border and did it in the rose color, and then put this dark green line at the top like it already had at the bottom. I just thought it looked too busy with the, the flower border, so I left it off. And in the middle, I stitched it for my dad, who passed away in 2006, just because he and I are both such animal lovers, and I learned my love of animals from my dad. So I stitched it for him. So I've got to get that framed. But it's really fun to stitch. It has a ton of little fun things. There's some crazy little animals and birds in there that would be fun just to do a motif at a time. So I really enjoyed that one. That was fun. Okay, I think that's all of that. And you have wool.
I have previous finishes. I brought some previous fall finishes.
I did finish one thing yesterday that I didn't tell you about.
Oh.
I love to make these little guys. This is a strawberry pincushion with this little rabbit on the top.
That's cute.
And Laurie Corliss, Corelis, she has these patterns. And she is the spotted hare on Etsy. And I love to make, I've been a doll maker and a bear maker in my past life. So I love to make these little things. And actually, I made two because it's just as easy to make two. And that one's for you.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. Was not expecting this. How cute.
Has little beads for the strawberry seeds, and it's just embroidery. And
aw, he's cute.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So where are we now?
Okay. Fall finishes?
Yeah.
So these are finishes that I did a few years ago. I thought I would just show them because we're coming up onto the fall season. This is a wool table mat that I made, or a candle mat. And it's by Shabby Fabrics, and I belonged to their, a few years ago, I belonged to their table mat or candle mat club. This was the first one I did. This is the only one I've done. And then I just finished it with fabric on the back, and then this is where I turned it, so I just put some leaves on there. That's cute. There's that one.
That is very cute.
And then quilting. This is a Kimberbell pattern.
How cute is that?
You can do machine embroidery or machine applique, and I did the machine applique.
That is so cute.
And this is the back.
That is darling. Little table topper?
Yep, just a little table topper.
Or a wall quilt.
Or wall quilt.
That is gorgeous. While you're showing them that, I'll grab my fall ones.
And then I have two fall cross stitch finishes that I just brought to show. These I finished last year. This one is Olga's Stocking by Plum Street,
which I love. I have that kitted and I need to start. Oh, that turned out so well.
I did change, I think I changed a couple of the colors to make it more orange because the call for was really brown.
Oh. And what's that stitched on?
This is on 18 count Caramel by Seraphim.
And that's Ada, and it's gorgeous.
It's Ada.
You can't tell that's not.
And I did make it into like a real stocking.
It's adorable.
So that's the back.
Excellent job.
And then the last one I brought is, this is called Tom Turkey, and it's by Heart and Hand. This is stitched.
So cute.
Isn't it cute? It's stitched on 14 count vintage country mocha, and this is a Victorian model thread. I don't know what the color is.
That is so cute.
And I just made it into a little bag just to put some little, what are these called?
Doodads.
Whatever.
Picks.
And it just hangs on from a shelf in my house.
So cute.
It's cute. And then I just used the same fabric on the back as the stocking.
That's adorable. Well, mine are all cross stitch finishes, and the first one was a little kit from Shepherd's Bush, and it's just called Happy Fall, and it's got this little sheep. Of course, most everything of theirs has a sheep in it, and it's just really cute. It came with the little tin and everything to finish it. And then this is, I just took a part of the pattern out of Brenda Gervais' Halloween booklet from last year, and I wanted it, the little ghost was sitting on something else. I don't remember what it is, and I just took some of her letters and made the word boo and put him on there, and then added some buttons on the side, and finished it in this hoop. So there's that one. This is a little pillow from Tiny Modernist. It's Mouse Sews Halloween. And there's some Lady Dot Creates moss colored chenille around it. And some little buttons. And it's just got a little tiny print on the back. But that one turns out really cute.
It is really cute.
This is a Homespun Elegance. And it was a little kit from Shepherd's Bush. And it has just some little fabric on the back and some black pom-poms around it. These are just, I think, Joanne or Hobby Lobby black pom-poms that I stitched on. This is another Brenda called Autumn in a Manna, and that is stitched over one, and it's on 25 count mushroom Lugana. And then it just has some Lady Dot Creates pom-poms, and it was ecru, I believe. And I don't know why I didn't put something over the back, but I just turned it and had a little plaid on there. I need to put a piece of wool over it. But that one is very cute. This is Brenda Gervais, I Love Fall Most of All. And it is stitched on the called for fabric with the called for threads. And this is more Lady Dot Creates, I believe it's called Moss, around the edges. And then this fabric that is on the back is called, it's Sandy Gervais, Brenda's sister, and it's named after their grandmother. Autumn, what's it called? Oh, it's her name. I'm sorry, I can't remember that. But it came out last year.
The fabric line.
The fabric line.
I have some of that. I don't know.
It's really cute. And this one is another one out of the Halloween Jubilee book by Brenda Gervais. It's a little crow and some pumpkins. I like the little spider hanging down right here. It's really cute. And it's another one that I just stuffed, and I have just some pom-poms around it from, I believe, Joann's. And another, you can tell how much I like Brenda. She's my favorite. This is Boo, with the little tiny mouse over here that's so cute. And it's another one that's just stuffed and turned and chenille on the side. These two are from Heartstring Samplery. It's the Cats and Jacks series, and they're stitched on a 40 count, just leftover pieces of, it's vintage mocha is what it looks like. And it's her little series called Cats and Jacks, and they turn out really cute. And they just have some little fabric on the back, and I put a little mini rickrack around the edges, and I think they turned out really fun. So that's all I have.
So I only have one more finish, and this is a quilt. And you're not going to be able to see the whole thing. But my friend gave me a quilt kit, and it had a jelly roll in it, and it had this yardage and the border yardage. And I didn't like the pattern, so I went online and found, it's Erica Arndt, it's ARNDT.
Yeah.
And she had a tutorial.
She's got a lot of free tutorials
on how to make this log cabin. It's just a scrappy log cabin block.
It's darling.
So And that's it. This, you can do it a day. If you have a jelly roll, you can do it in a day.
She did it in a day.
So it's really quick. And now my friend wants the quilt back.
Oh,
when she saw it,
I bet.
she said, "I like that fabric.
I
Why
want
did I
that
give that to
fabric."
you?"
I want it back.
I told her she couldn't have it back.
Well,
right. That's.
I think that's about it for
So,
all our stuff. Do we have plans?
Do you have plans?
I have plans. I have plans to keep stitching on what I have started on my cross stitch, and we have plans to continue our embroidery book that we have month 2 and 3 to catch up on. What do you have?
I have stitching plans. So I'm going to keep working on the Heartland sampler because I'll get it done. And then if I don't, I'll carry it into September. But then for September, I didn't even pull these out of my bags. So you're going to see glare. So I started this last year on Thanksgiving. This was my Thanksgiving start last year. And I started it with Jeanette from Crafty Cottage Stitches. Is that their channel?
Mm-hmm. Crafty Cottage Stitches.
And she's finished hers, but I didn't. We were working on it every Thursday, and then kind of after the first year, I kind of gave up on every Thursday. So this is where I'm at. So this is kind of going to be my focus piece for September.
And what is it called?
It's called Turkey Hollow Farms.
Oh, Turkey Hollow Farm.
By Stacey Nash. And I have no idea what I'm stitching this on. I know it's 18 count, but I don't know what the color is.
It's really pretty.
I do know that I messed it up and soaked it because I sprayed that antiquing spray on it.
Oh, the walnut stain stuff.
And I didn't like it. And so I thought I ruined my fabric, but I soaked it in water and scrubbed it with Dawn dish soap.
It's indestructible.
I got it off.
So see, you can't hurt it by washing it.
And then other things I'm going to try to work on in September.
That's cute.
Is this one by Hands On Designs. What's it called? Autumn Skies.
Mm-hmm.
And I started this one last year. And turn the right side up. That's where I'm at. It's going to be
really cute.
And I'm just using my own threads. This is 18 count. It looks like I coffee tea dyed it. Or not 18 count, 14 count. And I'm just using my own threads on that one. And then other one I started last year. Thomas by Not Forgotten Farms. I started all the things last year, and that's why I have so many whips. And this is how far I got.
Ah, you hit the headless horseman.
It's kind of funny looking. I think I'm using, so she just does DMC, and I'm using all the called for except for the blue. Hers was super, super bright, so I pulled a different blue on it. I'm not sure what it is. And this is an 18 count, and I don't know what fabric. I think it's a Seraphim. It could be caramel. I think it's caramel.
It's pretty.
And then the other thing I'm going to work on in September is his and her Thanksgiving stockings by Plum Street.
Those are cute.
They are so tiny. Just little. And I started on the girl one.
Oh, they are tiny. Is that that's 18 count?
This is 18 count, and it's oatmeal. 18 count oatmeal. So that's where I'm at. And I am. The boy one is really dark, and so I'm going to put color into it. I'm not going to make it all this black. So those are my stitching plans for September. Getting into the fall stitching.
I have to finish what I'm working on now before I start new fall things. And I did so many fall things last year with this pile of finishes that I'm pretty good on fall. Although I do want to do Olga's stocking. That's one I would really like to start.
That one was fun.
Yeah, that one is adorable.
And I'm not starting anything I'm just going to keep working through my whips and
She's getting them down.
get them
I'm
down.
amazed at how quickly she finishes things.
I think after I get 10 whips done, complete stitching, I'm going to get a new start just to reward myself. So
we've also done some crochet.
You've done crochet.
You learned how to do crochet.
I am a
Been
granny
doing granny
square
squares.
dropout.
No, you are not. You got it when I was over at your house.
And then that's as far as I got. And then
you should have kept going.
Kept messing up. So
it's just one of those things you have to keep doing. But
I will eventually.
I think that's about it, isn't it?
The only other thing we're going to do is we're doing swoon blocks.
Oh, let me grab September
it.
1st with Jeanette. I didn't get my pattern out, but she's got hers here.
So Thimble Blossoms is who does the swoon patterns. And they have several different ones. This is the swoon 16. There's the original swoon, which is
that's the one I'm going to do.
Is the one she's going to do.
And they're 24-inch blocks.
Yes.
9 24-inch blocks, and these are 16 16-inch.
And she has a patchwork swoon, I think is what it's called.
Which is
and
really
then she
cute.
has a swoon that's just like the whole quilt size. It's just
one huge block. One huge block.
And so I decided to use a Laurie Holt fabric line called Granny Chic, and it's probably my absolute favorite fabric line of Laurie's, with the exception of her cookbook one. I love that one. So these really are my fabrics for my squares. And I'm going to get them so you can see them all. Whoops. So those are the fabrics for my squares. This is going to be the fabric for my sashing. And this is a lot of background. This is my background, and it's just a tone-on-tone white with roses on it. And then this will be my backing fabric, and this is from Laurie's cookbook line.
That is so pretty.
So anyway, so we're starting those September 1st. I think I'm going to start cutting mine out next week.
I think I better as well.
And then Jeanette, so Thimble Blossoms is doing a summer swoon along. I think it's hashtag summer swoon along on Instagram. And so we're just going to just use that hashtag and just join in on theirs. But we're doing it with Jeanette of Crafty Stitches. So anyway, that's my quilting plans.
Yep. Well, I'm going to try it. I do small quilts, but I haven't done a big one like that for a long time. I've done a couple, but it's been a while.
And we're just going to do them at our own pace. That's my plan anyway.
Mine too. I'm just going to try and keep up with
I'm going to try to do 1 block a week. That's kind of my goal.
That's a good goal.
So the cutting is intense, but once the cutting's done, Jeanette says they go really fast.
She said it's easy. I hope she's telling the truth, or else I'm going to come and get you, Jeanette. I think that's it. So we plan on being back in, 3 weeks? About 3 weeks?
Yeah, I have a quilting retreat in September, the 14th through the 17th, and I think the week after that is when we're going to film again, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll be back.
And we're probably only going to do once a month unless we can get together sooner, because we do live an hour away from each other. So, which is
close. we're the only other people that we can find that even stitch in southern Idaho. There are people in eastern Idaho, but they're another hour and a half east of us. So
and there's people in western.
Yeah, western and Boise and Emmett. They have Maggie's on Main quilt shop in Emmett now. And we did go there. We took a road trip and went to Maggie's on Main. We need to take a road trip and go to Shepherd's Bush, because it's just about the same distance to Shepherd's Bush as it is to Emmett. Yep. So Shepherd's Bush is so very fun.
Yes,
it's very worth the 3-hour drive one way.
Yep. It's only an hour and a half for me.
Well, how come it takes me 3 hours when it's only an hour to your house?
I don't know. Because it's Ogden is
That
an hour
makes
and a
two
half.
and a half. Huh. Well, okay,
Yeah.
it's
Anyway.
2.5 to 3 hours. But we're gonna do that.
Yep. So
That'll be fun.
we'll be back. You can find me on Instagram at So Cozy Stitching.
And I'm on Instagram as Lounsbury Cathy, or It's So Stitchy. And now we're the so-and-sos.
And we're the so-and-sos. So if you please like our video if you like it, and comment.
Subscribe.
If you have any questions about anything that we've shown, just make a comment. And we also have an email address, and I will put it in the description box below.
Okay.
So if you have any questions,
that's about it.
But we'd love you to subscribe.
We would. And we have, as you can tell, we have a variety of things that we like to do. So if that's what you like,
yeah, and we'll work on the lighting. We're gonna alternate houses, so
yeah, next week will be at
my
or
house.
Time it'll be at her house.
So we're gonna alternate where we do this, but and we're working on the lighting. Lighting is hard. Trust me.
Yeah, I think it's too light.
Okay, so we'll see you in about a month.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.